I have had feedback that I am not posting enough on YouTube and that I am also not posting enough about Doctor Who. So now I am posting about Doctor Who for the general audience that might want that sort of thing. If you don't, then fine. That's fine. Anyway, the last episode of Doctor Who, I didn't say anything about Boom because I was away. But this last one, the 73 yards, which is interesting. It's 73 yards. Well, of course, it's being sold to America. So 73 yards it is, even though we would probably generally these days measure in feet. Feet and meters. Feet is meters. Meters is feet. What? Anyway, feet or meters, one or the other. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, 73 yards. I've got one word to say. My slipper just fell off. One word to say, and that's Hodor. I think if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you will. Game of Thrones, just the one. Game of Thrones fan, you'll know what I mean. That whole thing was Hodor. Very much the key word for that whole thing. It also gave Inside Number 9 vibes, and also a little bit Hammer Horror, and also American Werewolf in London with the whole thing with the going into the pub. There was basic mention about how that it was racist to think about the Welsh people as being mystical weirdos. But I, of course, am a Welsh person, so take that as you will. Really, my hair's all over the place. So what the thing was most interesting that we don't really find out what was the terrifying thing when people were approaching the figure in the distance, who we found out later on who is that. What was the figure actually saying? We heard the whole thing about don't step, don't tread, don't whatever it was. Don't tread on that on the big fairy circle thing. Don't tread, don't step. Anyway, so that is one of the things that she said, but she must have said more than that. There's sort of like spooky weirdness and like weird noises. So what was it? Is she actually a weeping angel? Is Ruby a weeping angel? Is Ruby death? Is she a weeping angel of death? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, because I didn't write it. It's not, the Doctor disappeared very early on into this fairy circle. So there's an awful lot of fairy circles. That's where you disappear and you don't come back for ages and ages and ages, especially if you eat anything or drink anything or touch anything or do anything. And that's what the Doctor did. It's a very divisive episode, wasn't it? My dad doesn't like Doctor Who anyway. My mother does like Doctor Who. But they just sat there through the whole thing going, this is rubbish. What's this? I want to see the Doctor. They've never done this before. They have done this before. There's, turn left, people have said. There's also the one with Martha going around telling people about how to remember the Doctor. So the Doctor was just a tiny little creature in a cage. The whole episode till the end, really. I do believe in the Doctor. I do believe in the Doctor. And then magically the Doctor came back to his full size and not a tiny little pixie man. So yeah, it has happened before. And what was the one? Love and Monsters, which was a good episode, I think, even though a lot of people said it wasn't. I think it was an interesting episode. And I did not like the paving stone at the end with that though. So yeah, there was a little bit of Mrs. Flood. There was, did you see at the end? There was I Love You, Josh in the fairy circle at the end. And Josh, of course, was the first person that went up to the woman and ran away and said, ask her. Ask her what though? The bad guys in all of these things seem to be really, the people that you probably wouldn't want to make bad guys. It's like, I had a discussion with my parents about they wouldn't let a Welsh Prime Minister be in this country. No, they won't let a Welsh Prime Minister. And of course the Welsh Prime Minister in this was a very bad guy indeed. So, sort of, and Russell T Davies, is he doing this on purpose? Because there's also other characters, like drag queen characters and characters that are marginalised and are playing the bad guys. And I think that's fine that people are playing the bad guys, because everybody should be allowed to play everything. But it does seem a bit... Anyway, altogether, this episode should have been called Doctor Where. Yeah.